All right. And of course we instantly start in with the wrong camera. So let's swap. Hello and welcome. Hopefully everything is coming through okay. Oh, thanks for popping in, Sean. But yes, this will be at the very least a rough test run. I'm not expecting to have all this stuff worked out immediately, but it's nice to at least try it. So, I'm not sure, hold on. Why is this off kilter? Okay. I just think it's going to be always off kilter. I think that's just going to be our problem here. But yes, welcome to the first test stream of Hamburger Help Me, the cooking stream in which I know about half of what I'm doing. Hopefully for the future of these, we'll have like other guests or people to recommend things to make. But tonight we are making some lamb chops, some honey garlic lamb chops. So I hope everyone can at least enjoy. The goal of this also is for me to try and be a little calmer and more relaxed in all of this, just to make things a bit more, you know, palatable for a nice evening, which is also why I have selected the music that I have. Also, if anything seems to be messing up, please let me know, because as of right now, everything is tied together with what is effectively the wireless radio frequency version of duct tape. So that'll be fun. All right. So first off, let's swap camera back to the big one. So, we got wide angle camera. This camera that I had over here, I'm just going to use as my moving around camera since its stand is easier to adjust. And while I'm at it, let's begin the first step in this wonderful process. Now, if you've never made lamb before, trust me, it is a somewhat weird meat to work with. So I'm not going to fault you for avoiding it. Also, I am feeling a little parched myself, and I don't know why I put my drink down over here. So let's just adjust this to get a better view of our ingredients station. And we will go over our ingredients. And that should be, if I hit the little button here, exactly what I need. Perfect, wonderful. All right, and since I'm good at things and I prepared ahead of time and I'm real smart like that, I also have one of the buttons that does this. There we go. So, what we will be working with here is, oh yeah, the ingredient. Duh. The ingredient. So, what we have here is our ingredients for our main dish. We have 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, the lamb chops themselves, honey, onion powder, black pepper, Creole seasoning, thyme, rosemary, butter, and garlic. Now, not all of these are exact. I did my best to try and make everything sort of fit together and sort of play well, but the reason why I'm doing this recipe is because it's sort of a mix. there was the original recipe that I was going to do and then decided against, which was just garlic, rosemary, oven roasted lamb. But that would have taken a lot more time, as properly oven roasting a lamb, especially a decent thickness lamb steak, takes a little bit of time. So we're doing this because it's quicker, but it's not that much quicker. So I need to actually get started on this because we need to marinate this for at least a half an hour. So let's at least get started on marinating it. Actually, I will use a different bowl. Nah, I'll use this one. I'm at the very least happy to be doing cooking streams again, just because they are somewhat fun. Now, for right now, I'm going to move this out of the way because I don't like dealing with raw meat in that area. I like having nice, distinct, separate areas, especially when dealing with raw meat. Even though it is still in the package, it's relatively clean. Once I take it out of the package, don't want meat juices going everywhere. So we add our Worcestershire sauce. We're going to add everything except the honey. Also, I need a paper towel or I'm going to drip this everywhere. We're going to be mixing together our Worcestershire sauce along with all of the other dry ingredients you see here. Now, the main thing with this is that we aren't adding the garlic yet. We're going to be adding a lot of it later, and cooking it in with it. But as I was looking at this, I realized it might actually be a good idea just because sometimes cooked in spices don't hit right. I'm just going to, out of nowhere already, mess up my recipe already, and we're just going to add a couple shakes of minced garlic. That's the fun of cooking, especially when you don't have to be good at it. And that is one of the things that I do like about cooking. It's one of the things I never really, was told when growing up, and one of the things I was actually told the opposite of, which was you don't have to be good at cooking to cook. So you want to make sure that all of the spice mixture is mixed in with the Worcestershire sauce here. You don't want clumps of spices, you want them all relatively mixed in together. Now, to figure out how these lamb chops come out of this packaging. Ah, there we go. Why are they sticking to the top? Okay. I'm off over here in my nice little set-aside raw meat area. Don't mind me. You can still hear my voice, hopefully, so. I'm not gone, I'm just off camera. The film equivalent of gone. So. Alright, we're gonna pick a hand. And I choose left hand. Left hand is now our meat hand. Yay! All right. So get these nice and covered in it. We're gonna leave them in the bowl. We don't want to get too much of the juices of the lamb in here, which is why I'm taking these out individually. Probably a lot less messy if I had actually just separated them from their packaging earlier, but that is a mistake that you can rectify yourself if you want to try this on your own. Also, these are lamb loin chops, where most lamb chop dishes, I will admit, do prefer to use lamb rib chops or shoulder chops. I prefer lamb loin chops due to the fact that they are much more tender oftentimes, but that could just be a personal preference. Now, before I work with anything else, I'm going to go wash my hands because I just touched raw meat and just like really touched raw meat. Because there's a difference between like just getting your hands on some raw meat and then just really touching it. Now, we have these covered in their nice little seasoning, but we need to now let them rest for a span of time, which I said earlier and I'm now forgetting. But first, we're gonna take a look at that. Yeah, they're all just in there. Sort of wiggle them around a little bit. Make sure they got some all over. Now, if memory serves, I have somewhere in here. Yeah. I have a nice little lid that I'm gonna just slap on this bowl, and we're just gonna let these sit there. Yeah, we're just gonna let them sit there. We're gonna move them off to the side. We're gonna let those sit for 30 minutes. So at like 6:40 or 50. Now, one might think, also hi Marley, one might think that this would now be a difficult problem because I can't cook anything. Because, hold on, where is the button that I need? And here we go. Because I can't cook anything. Because now my meat's just gotta marinate. So what am I gonna do for 30 fucking minutes? Well, I'll tell you. Secondary option. Because what is just a lamb chop to do? Nothing. It does nothing. It's absolutely technically useless because it's just a meat. And, you know, you have to be a real weirdo to only want to eat just a pile of meat for a meal, you know? So, there's some side dishes I got. What are the side dishes? Well, let's pull up our ingredients list. We're gonna make some Parmesan potatoes. You might be noticing that this ingredients list doesn't have like all those fancy measurements and numbers on it. That is because I never use them. Because it defeats the purpose. So, come along. Or actually, hold on, I can't say that without actually switching the camera, and you aren't able to move without this. So we're gonna go over the sink. Why are we going to the sink? You'll see later. I'm drowning you in it. No, I'm just kidding. We are going to be cleaning some potatoes. Yay! Potatoes. Those are not on camera. Potatoes. There we go. We need to wash these because, as one might expect, potatoes, even when you buy them from the store, are covered in dirt. Because that's where potatoes come from. Dirt. So, let me see if I can get a better camera angle here. I need you guys to be able to see what I'm doing, but I also need you guys to not be in the way. So that's our difficulty here. All right, bing, bang, boom. That is a beautiful fucking camera angle, and it just like gets worse within seconds of me saying that it is beautiful. All right, just like every relationship I've had so far in my life. Sick. All right, there we go. So, well, that's the thing. I have to explain the because. I have to explain the reason. Like you can technically just do food, okay? Food isn't complicated. You can just do food. But if you understand why food, if you understand because food, then you're cooking. Well, you're technically cooking before, but like then you're really cooking. It's a cool distinction. Now, specifically, I forgot where I put my scissors. You know what? I'm going to be using a knife to cut the potatoes anyway, so let's just skip the foreplay. Everything I say is wrong, by the way. Just go into this with that knowledge. There's probably a reason why I shouldn't have done that, but welcome to Hamburger Help Me, the cooking stream where I speak against the recommendation of everyone else. I do in fact speak. All right, let's pop these little bad boys out. All right, that looks like that's probably a perfect amount of potatoes. Actually, judging by how many potatoes are left in the bags, that's probably too many potatoes. Let's just take a handful of these bad boys and put them back in the bag. There we go. That's enough potatoes. That's still probably too many potatoes. This is just for one meal, it's for multiple meals, but I don't want to make potatoes for multiple meals. They don't reheat well. They don't reheat well, so we're just gonna not with the. You can add more potatoes to make more potatoes. It's the cool part of the recipe. You can just do that. By adding additional potatoes, you create additional potato. All right. Gonna put these away in the nice dark spot in the bottom of the cabinet, because that's how you get even more potatoes. Now, this is supposed to be a bottle brush, but I don't ever use it for that because it really kind of sucks at all that it's supposed to do. God damn it. So, but it is a perfect size for little mini potato scrubbing. I'm actually also realizing that I put the camera and I put my chat setup in a way that I can't see it. So let's move this real quick. There we go. I can see that. This is honestly one of my favorite little go-tos. If I don't know what to do with like a dish, like not specifically, but more commonly red meats, petite red potatoes, just giving them a quick slice up and then oven roasting them with Parmesan and pepper. Like, it weirdly enough always seems to match whatever energy of the dish, no matter how like fancy or unfancy it is. Like I've served like filet mignon and tried to do that for like a date night one time, and didn't know what to do with it and didn't have, you know, like steak fries or anything, and I'm not about to make mashed potatoes. People always, like, I'm not sure people, I always assume that mashed potatoes are going to be easy. That mashed potatoes are the easiest way to do potatoes because, you know, it's just smushing them. But there's actually a lot more to it than that. They're surprisingly complicated when you think about it. It's one of the more complicated ways to do potatoes. I do like this music. This is great. This is great mini potato scrubbing music. It's got just the right amount of gravitas that really accentuates the individually scrubbing potatoes that are smaller than a golf ball. Now you see, that is technically how you make mashed potatoes, I'm not gonna lie. But here's the thing, I thought it was even easier than that. At some point, maybe, on one of these cooking streams, I will, show you all how yes. Yes. I didn't forget to boil them. That's the thing. Forgetting to boil them means that there was at some point in the process an intent to boil them. A thought that went into the process that was like, I wonder how these would do if these would do better if I boiled them. And that never happened. So no, don't come in here saying, oh, did you forget? No, forgetting requires thought. But we're fine. We're almost done with the scrubbing of the potatoes. There's probably better ways to do this, and in other cooking sessions I have done better ways of doing this, but one would think that, but I will level with you. I have not tried since that attempt. Well, that is also the thing. Pretty much all the other brushes would have been worse. My big bottle brush is a lot, like the bristles are too soft. Don't pay attention to what just happened there. Everything that happened there happened for a reason, like God's plan or some shit, and we don't have to think about it. All right, so let's move some stuff over to a new location. All right. We're going to use small. Nope, you didn't see anything. Everything that you thought you saw, that's actually just part of God's grand design and mysterious ways and all that stuff. All right, so we're gonna move Chad over here so I can keep an eye on it. All right, and now we need to chop up the potatoes. But where are the potatoes gonna go? Good question. I should probably do that before I start chopping the potatoes. Thank you for thinking about that and then thus making me think about that doing mitosis or some shit. So, we are going to be roasting these, so we need them to go on this wonderful little wire rack. It helps roast them on both sides, which means we don't have to flip them over, which is one of the more annoying parts of dealing with oven roasting potatoes, the flipping them over part. All right, so there's another step to this that I'm missing, and I know that I'm missing it, and I'm thinking that if I think about it for long enough, I'll remember it. There's a step to this. There is a step to this that I am forgetting momentarily, but now remembering. The cheese step. Because it'll come after this step, and it's probably a good just have the... I'm not boiling the potatoes. We're oven roasting the potatoes. We don't need to boil the potatoes this time. And honestly, that's kind of better for them. In the long run, if you don't boil them, it's better for them. All right, so we're going for relatively small, and I need these to be... Okay, so for the big guy, we're not going to do him like this. We're just going to fucking Remember, kitchen knife safety is very important, which is why, unlike me, you should learn what it is. And then do it. Better than me. Figure out that and write in and let me know what it is. P.O. Box, please. It's perfectly fine because we just successfully cut a potato. Don't worry, I'm not gonna cut myself. If I cut myself, then there would be blood on stream, and then I'd get banned. So, I can't do that. It's against the rules. It's illegal. So don't worry, I'm not gonna cut myself. All right. Okay. Some of these are probably gonna burn because they're not all the same thickness, which is funny and cool and totally an enjoyable part of this. What's this? Okay, we're good. I can't though. You know what? Maybe one day I'll do a cooking stream on Kick, so I can cut off my own finger on stream and only get a written warning. And then I can escalate too. From that point, I can just keep going as far as I want. I can cut off other people's fingers. For legal reasons, this is a joke. Well, that's the thing. I technically don't need all of my fingers to play video games. That is the thing that a lot of people need to realize about gamers. You can technically game without all of your fingers. Some of them are superfluous. The pinky is, as God created it, a suggestion. Now imagine if I had one of those fruit slicers, like a little mandolin. Man, that'd be sick. Cutting my finger off on one of those. Okay, I want you to hold a controller without your pinky. If you're having that much trouble, I'm genuinely worried about you. All right. Okay. The one upside of cutting these as thick as I'm cutting them is that I'm much less likely to cut myself by putting more potato between me and the blade. Once I get down to the next to last couple potatoes, I will preheat the oven. Look, now see, you're just making sense, which is not the point. All right, so There is at least one upside of using larger potatoes, is that it is actually much easier to cut larger potatoes due to the way they are. Also, after feeling this one, okay, I mean, I guess he looks trustworthy on the inside. He did not feel trustworthy from the outside, let's just say that. I mean, you've shown me a lot of very bad cooks. Like, to be completely honest, you have shown me a lot of bad cooking videos. If you've been holding out the worst one on me, like, that's on you. Yes, I've seen dishwasher salmon. Okay, also, is this a... That's a root. It's fine. They're technically all a root. That's the fun part about potatoes. Potatoes are just roots. Just really, really weird roots. Okay, that was a bad cut. But at the very least, it was a bad cut that was away from my fingers. Yeah, a couple of those potato slices are looking a little green comparative to the others, but that is the fun part. It then becomes a game. A little Mario Party minigame. Don't eat the bad ones. More specifically, hold on, let's actually... Okay, fine. I'll throw the little potato cut in there. He'll get cooked too. All right, It'll be fine. You know what? It'll be fine. It'll be fine. A little bit of food poisoning is a small price to pay for... And so that's the fun part about potatoes, honestly. They really just do exist underground for most of their life. Like, especially this one, it has like a cool little spot. You get a lot of cool little spots when you're underground a lot. And I don't think that's like a bad thing. All right, now that we're down to the last couple potatoes, let me move the chat off of the oven itself. All right, and we can fire up the oven. We're going to do it at a bake. For, let's do 18 minutes at 375, which I believe should be a nice temperature for this. And we should hopefully in the near future, have the lamb chops done with their marinade. Now that all the potatoes are cut, and there are some in there that look a little bit sketchy, that's a good thing. That's what they're supposed to look like. The question is part of the enjoyment. Now, we get to season them, which should be... If we center that there, yeah, perfect, great, awesome. All right, so unlike the bad pepper we used for the lamb chops, we are going to use good pepper for these. For no real reason other than I change my mind constantly. And now it may not look like I'm getting much on there, but it is a mix of black and white peppercorn. So it is a bit difficult to see all of the pepper that is getting on. But trust me, they are getting a nice even coating. Now, in the past, I have usually used grated Parmesan, and if I had thought about it, I'd probably be using it here now too. The problem is that I didn't think about it, and so I only have shaved Parmesan. But that is a problem with a very easy solution. Tiers. You're going to want to crumble it up in your hand as much as possible. Really get it down there. You're going to try and effectively make grated Parmesan out of shaved Parmesan. If it falls off of the potatoes, that's fine. You just have to cry about it. It's supposed to get mostly on the potatoes, but it will, as it seems right now, will find a way to fall off all of them. That's fine. Don't worry about it, and move on to the next handful of cheese, which might stay on this time, or not, or more. Remember, cheese is an interesting... This is much harder than I thought it was going to be. I'm cooking guy facade off for like 5 seconds. This is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. I was really thinking this was going to be a lot easier to stay on the potatoes. I don't know why it's not staying on the potatoes. The potatoes are wet, the cheese is dry. That's how this is supposed to work. Oh, Bob Roster. Happy accidents. Yes, every cheese that doesn't make it onto the potatoes is a happy accident. Remember, you're not wasting cheese, you're just not using it this time or ever again. Okay, come on. Just stay on the potatoes, please. God, please. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. And look at that, we have the majority of the potatoes covered in cheese. That is what I wanted from the beginning, and everything went the way it was supposed to. All of the cheese that isn't on the potatoes, that's table dressing. All right, so roller coaster time. Whee! And whee! All right. And that's right, we're putting you in the oven. Just kidding, you're not going in there. But we'll turn on the lights so you can see. Yay! And remember, the cheese will fall off, and that's... You have to be very careful to make sure that the cheese doesn't fall off. So now, you could start the timer. 18 minutes does seem like a little bit of a long time and could be a problem, but that's just because all the things I said are correct, and I'm going to suffer for it later. Now, the reason I had this paper towel underneath the rack is because I expected to at least have a decent amount of the pepper come through the bottom, but no, don't worry. There's also cheese. Just so much Parmesan cheese in the paper towel. It's not a problem or anything, it's just a cool thing that's happening to me because I angered God or something. I don't know. All right. I'm not going to be able to put you in there. I am terribly sorry. It is against the law, and I think I might get canceled on Twitter for it. So you have to stay outside of the oven, sadly. I know, right? Terrible. Now, thankfully, I have hemmed, hawed, and just futzed around enough with these potatoes to have bought us enough time for the marinade to be completed for the lamb chops. So we are now going to reposition everything. It's fine. This is a cooking stream. If you were expecting to not hear noises related to food in both its preparation and consumption, that's weird. It's also probably because the microphone that I'm using is pinned to my shirt right above my throat. So let's move over here, shall we? The stove, one of the other many dangerous things in this wonderful place called the kitchen. Now, it is important to note that the stove is gas, and in most situations, I would be turning on the fume hood so as the gas would be properly dissipated. However, that is not good for the stream. And so, in sacrificing my own personal safety and the function of my lungs, I will create a better audiovisual experience for you. No, I'm not just a whole. No, this is what I'm wearing. Okay, so the microphone is right here. It's just clipped. It's clipped to the shirt right here, and so like it's here. You know, that's where it is. Okay, all right, we're good. We're good. Great, awesome. Now, step 2. I mean, it is. If I was laying down, it would be on top of my throat, in a position where it is near to my throat. Okay, I don't have to. I have to explain myself to you, because now we're going to get back to the main course of this meal. So let's turn off these ingredients because we're not dealing with potatoes anymore. Potatoes are worthless. But I could be laying down. Any moment now, I could just lay down. That's the fun part about cooking. You don't have to be cognizant at all times. Sometimes you can just give up. And that's the fun part of cooking, the giving up. Now, pan. Secondarily to the pan, we need oil. Now, one might think, haha, Alex, are you about to pull out extra virgin olive oil? And that would be really funny if I had some, but I don't. So we have this oil instead. Okay, let's not talk about the way that I've talked about food this stream. It is between me and the food, okay? All right. Okay, I'm not gonna lay on the like. All jokes aside, I'm not gonna lay on the counter. I trust my cleaning skills, but I don't trust them that much. All right, can I spend this to? Okay, I can't fix that. So, we're just gonna put this over here. Now, quick question for everyone involved. How badly does this fuck up the audio? Is it bad? Because it's on now, and if I stand here, does it just destroy the audio? That is amazing. I'm very glad for that. I'm very glad for that because that means I can cook with the fume hood on, which is great news for me and the continued function of my brain. Now, an important aspect of cooking is to make sure that you have the meat you're going to be putting in the pan. It's part of the many steps of cooking called the first one. So what you need to do is position the camera so that you can see the pan and the place where the meat will go. And now you can simply how many first steps? There are so many first steps because there are many different there are people think that cooking is just about a few steps. Well, no, it's not just about a few steps. It's also about phases. You see, cooking happens in waves and phases, steps, and then layers. It's important to know all of these things to be able to cook properly because each of them is important and the potatoes are not burning. Okay, then what is that smell? What is the burning smell? Oh, it's the never mind. I've identified the burning smell. It is not a problem currently. All right, now you want to turn on your stove and put it at like a high, but like not high. It's not the Parmesan actually. It is the bits of bagel I did not clean out of the bottom of the oven from the last time I used it. Everything's fine. Nothing is burning. So what we're going to do is we need a nice light, even coating of oil. A nice... Alright. Possibly too light, but we'll see. And then you just gotta swirl it around and get it most places. You could get it all of the places if you hadn't destroyed your frying pan and all of the different grooves that you have carved into it, making all of this so much more difficult. But it's good. It's a good pan because you paid $8 for it. Look, there's technically an amount of oil I was supposed to add. Up. Oh, hey Booker, thanks for the follow. There's technically an amount of oil that I was supposed to put in. I didn't know what that amount of oil was, so we're not going to deal with that now. We are going to now put the meat in the pan because it feels hot enough. Do not ask how hot is hot enough. And since these are the nice little loin chops, you can kind of put them around in a little circle like this. Make like a little star shape. It's great because this little middle bit will actually be useful for something in a span of time. Not using specifics because that's bit me in the ass already today. But in a span of time, it'll become useful. I promise. I think. Oh, thank you. Thanks for the sub. I do actually, I might actually need to bump the volume up on the sub alerts. I barely heard them, so I mean, you guys probably barely heard them too. It's fine. All right. So while that is going, those of you who are here for the initial amount of the initial chunk of ingredients. Those of you who are here for the... Oh, we're in an ad. That's why. I get you. I understand. Oh, wait. I can do something fun with this, too. Haha. So. Where is... Okay, so while these are cooking, before we flip them over, we need to prepare the garlic. I'm just kind of smushing it, you know? Just gotta get it in there and just fucking crush it. You can use a lot of different things for this. I'm using a spatula because it is the largest piece of metal that I have that wouldn't actually cut me in half. Even though there's a decent possibility if I was not careful, it still could. Okay, so... Alright, crush them down. Wait, did that one even crush? There we go. There we go. That's good. Alright, how many more of these do I have to crush? Oh, that's 7. I should have done this in preparation, but that's fine. Some of them you can crush down really, really good. Some of them you can just kind of like crack that outer edge, you know? It's great. It's great. As you can tell, I started out this very chill and calm, and that was the goal. The goal was to try and like practice being, you know, more calm and reserved for like nice chill streams, and I even put on the chill music to help like encourage that. And then the second we started getting a hot pan full of meat and oil, all of that melted away because, and this is true, panic, genuine panic and fear. All right, so as it seems that we are getting a good char on one side of, and it's not a char, it's a grill, it's seared. I'm not putting the butter, the whole thing of butter in there with the wrapper. I will be taking the wrapper off, do not worry. If you notice the new rules on the Uwu voice, I put some stipulations, and I like those stipulations, so you'll be getting that refunded for a later stream. So, before these start to burn too much, let's flip them over. Look at that. Look at how good they look. Make sure that they still make their little star shape, because there's going to be some good stuff in there. I'm not doing the Uwu voice right now. I'm sorry. There's a degree of effort that goes into this that is not usually in place in most of my streams. Which means I kind of had to pay a little bit more attention. Means no Uwu voice. Now, because these have raw meat juices on them, we're going to set them on this so that they don't fuck everything up. Now, butter. Pop some garlic in there. Put a garlic on each of these. And then a couple on the outside. Now, take the rosemary. Come on. Just gonna break it up. Sort of try and get it as much, like get as many of these to just come off easily as possible. And then, sort of just scatter them around in there. Now, for the thyme. Toss a little bit of the thyme into that little center bowl, and then the rest of it kind of spread around. There we go. And with this, we now need a spoon. Because as the butter sort of melts down here in the center, we're gonna get this nice little oil that spreads around. Get everything to kind of just sit in that oil. But it's nice, like buttery garlic oil. It's great. And as that sort of just like soaks in, probably should have put bigger garlic cloves on some of these. That's a my bad, that's an oof there. We now have the last ingredient, the one that I technically did not forget that I had over there. Don't think about it. It's fine. Because cooking is a journey, and just because you made it to the destination without your luggage doesn't mean you can't have a great time. So, now that you got that nice butter, and you got this little kind of like a roux, not a roux, just the juices of the meat are mixing with the juices of the butter and the oil, and then the garlic cloves as well. So here's what we're gonna do now. We're going to flip these over again. And we're going to add the mystery ingredient. Now, if you think about it, and you think about it really hard, it's technically not a mystery. It's actually the first one. It is honey. For the honey garlic, part of the honey garlic lamb chop. So you're going to want to drizzle this on each piece of the honey, or each piece of the lamb. Cut it. Try and get about an even coating across each one. Just make sure you drizzle it all in there. Now it will run off and sort of mix in with this little liquid you got going on with the butter and the oil and the lamb juices and all of that. And it's just gonna go. Because most of this shit is savory, we're not too worried about it. Like, it's not gonna over sweeten everything. But now, honey burns faster, has a much higher smoke point than everything else here. So what you're gonna want to do is then just start taking this before it burns and sort of just basting it over each of the things. Lamb, that's the thing. Lamb is the word I was looking for. Fun word. So now, if I'm being honest, most meats I cook enough to kind of know when they're done by just like the look of them, you know? I do not cook lamb a lot. Not a lot at all. First time in like a year, honestly. So, I'm not sure how these are looking. But don't worry, there's a second way you can figure out these sorts of things. With a cool tool that someone already said in chat. Meat thermometer. and a secondary meat thermometer that's a worse thermometer, but it's my mom's old thermometer that has what they're supposed to be on it, like what the different meats are supposed to be, what temperatures they're supposed to be. So we're looking for that nice, good, and I'm pretty sure we put this one on first, so we're gonna check this one. And if the one we put on first is good, then the rest should be good, right? That makes sense. All right. It is definitely good. We are like 20 degrees past good. That is awesome. These are well done. It's not a mistake. It's a personal choice. I wanted this, actually. This was the plan from the beginning, and we have completed it. Well done, everyone. All right. Different tongs, because the first tongs have raw meat juice on them, and we don't want to deal with that. We also probably want to turn off the stove, because that's smart. And you know, moving off the hot pad, probably also smart. So many smart decisions I'm making here. Great. Now, if you had mashed potatoes, if you're doing mashed potatoes or like rice or something that could benefit from like a nice deglazing, if you had cooking wine, you could run some cooking wine through the pan, get all this juice here, and sort of turn it into a sauce or like a light gravy. But I don't. So I'm not gonna. I will, however, keep this because I can use this for other things later once it cools down. So we're just gonna put this off to the side. I say that, but I also want to plate this really cool. So let's just borrow like a little bit. Let's just borrow a couple. It's just look cool. We're going for aesthetic here. We're gonna make it look nice and cool. We're just gonna drape some rosemary over it, you know, put a little bit of crushed garlic on top there. Yeah, look, it's so cool. It's so cool looking. It's like a forest, but the animals are all dead. So, all right, we're gonna put that over here. And while we're working on this, I'm gonna make it so that you guys can't see what I'm doing, but still be able to talk to you more directly. Yeah, I'll put it back later. I'll put like just borrow, just a quick little borrowing. All right. Where did I put the tool that makes this all work? Here we go. There's the tool that makes this all work. Switch back to this camera. Hi there. And we're back to here. So, I got my plate, but you can't really see it all that well from this distance, and that's on purpose, because we have the rest of this to do. Now, to not ruin my countertops, I'm going to put down a pot holder, or just a hot pad, and we're going to do a quick little lift out of these nice little roasted potatoes. The potatoes are all done. They have a crispy feel to like their outer edge, but not too crisp. So I'm pretty sure like the inner potato meat, as one would say that, many would say that even, is probably really, really juicy potato meat. Now, don't think about what I just said. The words that I said are suggestions. You can do whatever words you want, the ones that make you comfortable. I need... All of those are wrong. I need a fork. There we go. Yeah, no, like every food has meat. Every food has juicy meat. You just got to get to it, you know? Now, if you don't have a oven that has a sort of grated pan to do this in, because this is a really, really cool oven, really great stuff going on with this. But if you don't have this, you can do these with just a normal cookie sheet and some aluminum foil. Just make sure you oil it beforehand, as it will make it much easier to get them off when you get the potatoes off the pan when you're done. Very important. Yep. Go. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I think I might have made too many potatoes. It's fine though. We're all here, we're all having a good time, and that's the best part of this. I'm actually not going to promote this oven with the Amazon affiliate link because I actually don't. It's a good oven. It's not the best. I would replace it if I didn't have it already. So let's just say that. Yeah, no, I'm not eating all of the lamb. I will be eating all the potatoes because it's a surprise. Like, it looks like a lot of potatoes. It's not that much potato. It just looks a lot because you're stacking so many of them on top of each other. But I'm not eating all the lamb. I'll probably only eat like maybe 1 to 2 of the chops tonight, and then save some more for later. No, I do have at least some standard to my eating habits, and I like to maintain that. But, oh, and last but not least, can't forget you. I thought you were just a burnt chunk of Parmesan cheese, but you are actually that one sad little bad cut potato. It's fine though. All right. And we will clean the rest of that later. That's a later cleaning. But with all of that being said, we now have the finished product. And so, one more, or actually here, I won't forcibly roller coaster you all. I will bring you over and we will set you up and we will give you the final shot of the meal that we have just made together. And I'm not going to eat it on stream so that no one can ever know if it was good or not. And, hold on, bring it down a little bit more. And there we go. Ta-da! That is lamb and fingerling potatoes. I'm actually gonna try one of the potatoes. The potatoes are actually pretty good. Not gonna lie, just I'm trying to avoid giving you all food eating ASMR, but the potatoes are really good. And you know what? I probably should try the lamb on stream. We worked this hard for it. Let's give it a taste. I really do need better knives. Or I might not need better knives, and that's a bone. That's what that was. Haha, yeah. Yeah, look at that. It's got... I'm not gonna fucking lie. That That is amazing. I was. All right, here. I'll cut you guys a bite. Okay, where the fuck is the bone that I'm running into here? Because I know it's here. Ah, here we go. No, this, at least for like close friends, this is the only way I can trick you people into coming to visit me. So no, come visit, I'll make you lamb. But yes, here is your bite. I will now eat your bite. Even for having overcooked it to the degree that I did, it's still really tender. Like I was not expecting it to be this tender with how much I overcooked it. That's pretty fucking amazing. All right. But just because we have finished the food and have eaten a few bites of the food doesn't mean that the cooking stream is over. Far from it. Because now we have to clean up after. Because that's also an important part of the cooking process, which I feel like just gets ignored because it's not fun or enjoyable or glamorous. But that's right, baby. Cooking stream over. Dishwashing stream begins. And I feel like this is a great song for dishwashing. So what happens if we just switch to this scene? All right, perfect. Dishwashing scene. Also, you can watch the stream without commenting every time I take a drink, okay? Please. It's so I'm gonna have to rewatch the VOD just to see how clear the gulp sounds are. Am I out of my drink? I am out of my drink. Yeah, there wasn't even any in there. Okay. Oh, well, I'm over here. Potato. Grab my off-brand Dr. Pepper. That's technically more water than it is anything else. All right. And also, now that the pan has cooled down before you get too far outside of this, I'm gonna save this for later. I may use it, I may not, but I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it, you know? It also helps get most of the oil out of this before putting the rest of it down the drain. Yeah, baby, pan scraping ASMR. This is what everyone's here for, right? Pan scraping ASMR. Out here acting like you don't like this shit. I know that this is probably like Xenoblade Chronicles just because like it sounds Zelda-esque, but I can't immediately place it, which means it's Xenoblade. Alright. And since we caught this early, we probably won't be... Okay. Okay, so it's not too bad. Wait, can you not hear the music? Did I not put the media tab on the dual cam? Fuck! There we go. We'll just go back to this then. I really thought I put the media tab, or the media input on the dual cam. Bad. But yes, in the dishwashing section, it's more just a post-game recap, baby. Honestly, this was a lot of fun. It was shorter than I was expecting, but at the same time, it was still really enjoyable just to be able to put together and do. I'll do like larger and more complicated meals, but also the whole goal of these cooking streams now is I want to collaborate with people. I want to do stuff with friends, you know? I want to be able to fucking make some people's recipes and have them like walk through them with me. Stuff like that. I feel like that'd be fun. Put most of the stuff in the dishwasher, and we're going to be putting anything that was well, I used the spoon on the hard stuff. I'm still gonna have to scrub it with the sponge, but we're starting off easy with the spoon, something that's a bit more forceful, you know. But yeah, it was a fun stream. Did enjoy this. The fish does not have a name. The fish was apparently originally supposed to be an ornament. Because if you look here, you might not be able to see it on the camera, but there's a little spot where there was supposed to be a string that connected. All right, his name is Harold. He has been dubbed Harold. Luckily, we did not do any raw meat on this on this cutting board, so we can just clean that and move on. Anything that we did meat on, aside from the cooking pan itself, needs to go in the dishwasher. So, all right. Yeah, I'll probably shop around to see if anybody has either a meal that they want to do together or just a meal to suggest. Don't say it. No, I'm not going to put chat in the dishwasher due to the fact that I'm already down one wireless camera and I don't want to be down another. Because I usually have 3 of these, but one of them is not working, and I need to send it back. Do not suggest the party cheese salad. The party cheese salad, if we do it, if in some horrifying alternate universe there is a time, a place, and a chance, a dream of party cheese salad, here is the big if we do it. It won't be the second stream off the test run, okay? Okay? There were no other, and also before you come back and be like, yeah, I got him. Like, no, there were no other promises made here. By the way, I just said if it ever happens in some horrific mining accident, it will not be the next one. If it ever does possibly happen. Okay, you don't have to call me a coward. I just cut potatoes with the big knife. You can't call me a coward anymore. I cut potatoes with the big knife. So, you already know I'm not a coward. I will ban you. That VIP was given because I thought you were going to be nice to me. That's not how you spell coward. You just put five, you just said 5 individual letters. Sucks to suck. I don't think that's coward. Also, I need to watch the meat thermometer because, you know, that kind of went in neat. So, next up, let's do the pan. Get it out of the way. Alright. But yeah. I wanted to be able to have something to sort of mix in with the Sunday streams as just like an alternative, something else to do, you know? I feel like this is that. I feel like this can be that. And, I mean, it feels like people enjoyed it. So. That plus the fact that it's also at a time that most people aren't asleep. That might be a boost. Okay, I can't do that every time. You just kind of have to remember that, like, I do these on like times, like every week at the same time. That's the reminder. Just put it on your calendar. Or turn on the stream notifications. There's a bell down at the, ring that bell. Yeah, guess what? Guess what? Harold has something to say to you. Say it, Harold. Ring the bell. See, Harold sounds like me because he and I are both all the time. So do that. Harold would tell you this because Harold likes it when you're here watching the stream. So you know. Maybe you just don't know Harold as well as you think you do. All right. Big pan is clean and out of the way. All right, I won't refund that one. I do need to go back and do the refund the Ulu voice. God is dead, and all of us are part of the squad that killed him. This was my fate, but it does not have to be yours. Be nice to Gorgons. There we go, Harold. Harold cyberbullied a Gorgon, and that's what happened. Don't be nice to Gorgons. That's his advice, honestly. Alright, and the big thing about like cleaning the meat thermometer is you gotta get all of the shaft, but you also gotta make sure, like, because of the way it's angled, you gotta really like twist in the tip, you know? I understood what I just said there, and like I understand that I'm not doing a great job, but like you can still clap. Okay, there's a reason why I might be deleting the stream VOD then. Reason given. Message received. Nah. I don't delete my stream VODs. All of my cringe and all of my failures are here forever. I wouldn't post it on the internet if I wasn't prepared. I'm not even gonna scrub this because it's going in the dishwasher because it just held raw meat for the past 40 minutes. Alright. And with that, I think that is all of the dishes to be done. Ah, wait, nope, we got one more. I forgot about you. But I saw you. I picked you up, bud. Don't you worry. I'd never forget about you, larger cutting board. You're the most important part of this whole operation. Don't put that song in my head. That song brings back so many fucking high school memories, I swear to God. That song was played at every single fucking high school dance because it is a really solid song for East Coast swing. Which is important to have a mix of songs for many different ballroom dances when your entire school pretty much all takes ballroom dance because there's nothing else better to do because they hadn't brought in the basketball team yet. Oh wait, no. Okay, different song. Okay, that's a different song. That's fine. That has no memories attached to it. We're good there. There's a different song with those first lyrics that still do everything that they're going for there. There's a surprisingly large number of songs actually that are about not worrying about things. Maybe it's a thing. Maybe it's just a cultural thing that every culture has had to, create its own song that's been like, yo, everything's fine. don't worry. Stop worrying. It's fine. Everything about every culture has just been to create and there's not really a reason to dig into to why there are so many different songs that are basically all just don't worry, stop worrying, stop thinking about it, and don't worry. Cultural dissection never has to happen, Things are weird, and maybe that's a good thing. Chile was always like this. Don't think about it, and everything's fine. But yes, that is all of the post-cooking cleaning done. And of course, it's a great fucking banger of a song. Windfall Island, baby. One might say it's just Kakariko Village with extra steps. And while they're right, fuck them, you know? That's what I say. Why should they just let them get off on being right? Back all the spices and the honey, and we can now and there. This was fun. This was fun. Or might actually hold on. Let me see if turning this on helps. Oh yeah. Much better. So, hold on. Yeah, here we go. Here's your potato. Did you catch it? Did you catch your potato? 5-second rule. I picked the smallest potato. Also, just remember, this is what your tiny little bad cut potato looks like. And now it's gone. But yeah. This is fun. And surprisingly, not nearly as scuffed as I was expecting. The wireless mic didn't cut out, at least from what when I looked over and saw, and since like a lot of pretty much all the stuff, like my swallowing was being picked up, so I'm assuming that it's still working good. I'll watch back over to VOD to make sure that like there weren't any major issues, but I feel like this is solid, which says a lot because there's a lot of stuff making this happen, and there's a very good possibility it could have all fallen apart. So, other than that, I think we can end it here. Let me see. Since I'm streaming at a different time, let's see if there's anybody I can raid into, or am I just here? Yep, do not see anybody that I would like to raid into. So, we will just end the stream here. And yes, let me pull back up my stream control. So this was fun. I enjoyed this, and hopefully we can do this again. I probably won't do these weekly, but whenever I can get a a meal to cook and maybe a guest to assist in the cooking of the meal in some way, shape, or form, we can have them on. But yeah, I'd like to thank everybody who came out to watch, and this was a lot of fun. Thanks everybody for watching. You definitely are assisting in spirit. Thanks everybody. Have a good rest of your evening.